He doesn't walk into the room. He shifts the gravity of it. Rubiel Mosquera is not built. He's forged. At first glance, your brain struggles to process it. Those legs, they don't make sense. They look less like muscle and more like a biological glitch. Something that shouldn't exist outside of comic books or CGI. But there's nothing artificial here. No illusion, no trick lighting. Just raw, overwhelming mass that forces your eyes to stop, stare, and question reality itself. This is Rubiel Mosquera, better known as Nexzilla, and no, that nickname isn't exaggeration. It's a warning. Because when Mosquera steps into frame, he doesn't just stand out, he dominates the visual field. His quads don't just sweep, they erupt. Thick, round, deeply separated slabs of muscle that look like they've been stacked, layer upon layer, with zero regard for normal human proportion. Each step he takes feels heavy, like the ground should crack under the pressure. It's not just size, it's density that looks compressed, like it's been packed beyond natural limits. But here's where it gets unsettling. Mosquera didn't build this physique in the spotlight. There was no mainstream hype machine pushing his name early on, no global recognition cushioning his rise. Instead, he emerged from the shadows of hardcore training culture, a place where the work is brutal, the standards are unforgiving, and excuses don't survive. He wasn't discovered, he was unleashed. And when the world finally saw him, the reaction wasn't mild curiosity, it was shock. Because bodybuilding has seen big legs before. Legends have defined eras with lower body dominance. But Mosquera's legs don't just compete, they redefine the conversation entirely. They force comparisons that feel unfair, uncomfortable, even controversial. How do you judge something that pushes beyond the visual expectations of the sport? That's the tension he brings. That's the chaos. In a lineup, symmetry is supposed to guide the eye. Balance is supposed to reward the complete physique, but when Mosquera stands there, those rules start to blow. Your attention gets pulled, almost hijacked, by the sheer magnitude of his lower body. Judges don't just evaluate him, they react to him. And that reaction, it's unpredictable. Some see a revolution, the next level of muscular development. Others see imbalance, a physique that challenges traditional standards too aggressively. But one thing is undeniable, you cannot ignore him. And that's where Mosquera becomes dangerous. Because bodybuilding history isn't written by those who fit perfectly into the mold. It's written by those who force the mold to change. The ones who make people uncomfortable before they make them legendary. Mosquera is walking that exact line. But don't mistake his physique for a shortcut to greatness. Bodies like his come with a cost, a relentless, unforgiving grind that most people would quit within weeks. Training at that level isn't just physical, it's mental warfare. Pain isn't a side effect, it's part of the process. Every session demands more. More weight, more intensity, more sacrifice. There's no coasting when you look like that. Because once you reach that level of mass, the world expects progression, not maintenance. They expect you to come back bigger, sharper, more refined. And that's the real pressure. Not building something insane, but continuing to evolve it without breaking. And that's the question hovering over Mosquera's future. Can something this extreme become complete? Because while his legs are already the stuff of legend, bodybuilding at the highest level demands total package dominance. Upper body thickness, back detail, conditioning, flow. Every piece has to rise to match the shock factor he already brings. If it does, that's not just a competitor. That's a problem the entire division has to solve. Imagine a version of Mosquera where the upper body catches up in fullness and polish, where conditioning sharpens every line without sacrificing that insane mass, where presentation evolves to match the sheer intimidation of his structure. That version doesn't just compete, that version reshapes the standard. But evolution at that level isn't guaranteed. It requires precision, smart training, strategic growth, and the ability to resist the temptation of going too far, too fast, a trap many mass monsters had fallen into before. So Mosquera stands at a crossroads. On one side, remain a viral phenomenon, the guy with the most insane legs anyone has ever seen. On the other, become a fully realized threat, a physique that doesn't just shock, but wins. And here's the part most people underestimate. He's not done yet. The story isn't complete. The ceiling hasn't been revealed. What we're seeing right now might not even be his final form, just the early warning signs of something much bigger, something more refined, something more dangerous. Because if there's one thing more intimidating than extreme size, it's extreme size with control. Rubiel Mosquera is already bending the visual limits of bodybuilding, already forcing fans and judges to rethink what's possible, already standing in a category that feels slightly outside the rules. And if he manages to bring everything together, then the shock you feel now will look mild compared to what's coming. Because Nexzilla isn't just here to be seen. He's here to redefine what too much really means.